Yo, what is up, everybody? Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first build video for the new Retaliation DLC. This is going to be the Turian Havoc soldier, which is so much fun to play. He might not be the best against every single faction, but God, he's fun as hell to play. By far one of my favorite ones. I like them all, though. I do have to admit, I do like all the 4 new ones. Alright, but for this weapon, I recommend the rear carbine. This guy is pretty much a soldier that is a vanguard. So play him like that. Rear carbine will go down as the best vanguard shotgun in my opinion. For the attachments, I recommend the piercing and the extended barrel. That's pretty much standard for the rear carbine to me. Don't need the ammo, don't really... You could go for melee if you really wanted to, but that's really up to you. Now for this build, I'm going to be using Havoc Strike with force and damage. Definitely recommend that. Next up is going to be weapon synergy. Just like charge, you want to charge in with the Havoc Strike, and you just want to blow them away with the rear carbine. It's just that simple. Now for the final one, I recommend Incendiary Strike. This is pretty much like Radius on charge, so you got to keep that in mind. You will hit pretty much 3 enemies with this, or well, a whole group of enemies, and stagger them all. That's pretty much the point. Now for stimulus pack, what I recommend is damage. Damage is super good. It's 17.50% extra damage just in general. And then I highly recommend duration. You want duration, guys. I know I don't have it on my build, but remember, you want duration. It makes it 9 seconds of the extra damage. Just do not do this. I went for shield recharge. You do not need that. He's a vanguard. He can use his packs to get his shield back. So keep that in mind. And you want the duration. I know I keep repeating it, but there's a lot of Helen Kellers out there, and they won't understand this. Go for duration. That's what I recommend for this guy's build. Duration. So, moving on. Alright, for Cryoblast, I recommend Radius, Cryo Explosion, and Frozen Vulnerability. This is pretty much standard to me for Cryoblast, just because it's great for debuffing, and it's definitely good against bosses. I use it against bosses as this guy. Now for the Allegiant, I recommend the damage and capacity for him, and also the power damage. Now, the damage and capacity though, the reason why I go for this is because this is how you're going to get enough force on your strike to actually stagger phantoms. You actually need to go for these two if you want to stagger phantoms, which is very important, obviously, because you want to be able to make them not a big threat and then shoot them to death with the rear carbine. And finally, for fitness, I recommend durability only, just durability. He's really up close in their face, so he needs some extra shields. Do not go for shield recharge. Remember, go for duration. It's so much better, honestly. Alright, now for the equipment, I'm going to be using Incendiary Rounds 4, Shotgun Rail Amp 3, Grenade Capacity 5, which this does work for the stem packs. They are counted as grenades, so you get 5 extra with that. But I would actually recommend Shock Trooper Upgrade if you have this at 5, because you would get shotgun damage and 2 grenades. But if you don't have it, like me, I just use Grenade Capacity because it gives me 5 extra stem packs. And then finally, Cyclonic Modulator 3. Just for the extra shields, he's up close in their face, remember. Alright, let's get in the gameplay. Alright, for this gameplay, we're going to be fighting against Cerberus, the new and improved Cerberus, because all the factions got a lot harder besides Reapers. To me, Reapers now are the easiest in the game. If I want to just go play a game and have a lot of fun and just chill, I'll just play against Reapers. Because Cerberus, it's not that Cerberus didn't really get that much harder, but Geth, oh man, Geth got a lot harder. But Cerberus is definitely a tad harder, just because of new Dragoons. But we call them Dragoons, so remember that, guys. It's based off of my buddy Drew, and I'll get into that later. But yeah, let me go ahead and start with this Havoc, this soldier. Oh my God, watch this shit. He is. I go so ham this game, I really do. Like, I went just so try-hard mode. I love playing Cerberus as this guy. I think that Cerberus is by far the best faction to fight when you play as a Havoc soldier. Reapers are okay, and Geth are, well, Geth, they kind of fuck you up, honestly. They do just so much fucking damage. Like any Vanguard, Getting in close range to Geth is just normally not that smart. And collectors, well, collectors, god damn, those things have so much armor that no matter what gun you use, I mean, you can use a claymore and point blank shoot one of the any armor target from collectors, and you just don't do barely any damage. And getting close to them is just not that smart. You get fucked up. You really do. Collectors are, to me, are by far probably the hardest faction now in this game. You could beat them pretty easy if you use the right build, but I don't know. Like this guy, I didn't really find him. I played against collectors quite a few times playing with this guy, and I didn't personally feel that he was that good against collectors. And I played against Geth with him, and I felt that he wasn't that good against Geth. And I played against Reapers, and I felt like he was pretty good against Reapers. And I played against Cerberus, and I really thought he was the best against Cerberus. So keep that in mind. Now, as you could tell, this is ridiculous. I am just charging in like a vanguard and just fucking them up. Now, the main thing about this guy that makes him so godly is his stim packs. The stim packs are amazing. They really are. Because at any point you can decide. It's just, you can decide when you want to stay alive. That's awesome. But I will say one thing, guys. If you are in a lot of danger, because this happens to me, and I'm assuming if it happens to me, it will happen to a lot of you guys. If you're ever truly in danger of dying, just use an op pack. Do not use a stim pack, because that can actually get you killed. And this is a good example of cryoblast. If you cryoblast a big group and then you charge into them, oh my god, you fuck them up. And this guy, by the way, is amazing at doing fire explosions. If you use incendiary ammo on like this Rieger carbine, and then you like charge in with this Havoc strike, you'll detonate that so freaking quick and just fuck them up. Now anyway, like I was saying though, this guy is a lot of fun. He is amazing. The stim packs are really good. But do not use, I would not recommend using them to try to save your life. Now, if you feel like, oh, I just lost my shield, yeah, use one. Because you have lost your shield. But if you feel like you're gonna die, like you have no health, no shields, use an op pack. Now, the reason why I say that is because what I've discovered about these stim packs, which in this gameplay I didn't actually discover it yet, just this is a more recent thing, is that I like using them for damage bonuses more than getting my shields back. That's really the best way I can. That's the best way I can recommend using them. Is just for that damage bonus. Because if you spec it fully, if you can actually upgrade it all the way. But for this guy, I do not recommend doing that. I really don't. Don't upgrade it for the soldier all the way. But for the Infiltrator, when I come out with that video, because I will come out with another Infiltrator video, a build video when I talk about the Infiltrator the whole time, I will be using the stim packs fully like upgraded. The reason why is because you get 27% more damage with your gun, and that is amazing. Plus all the damage bonuses that the Infiltrator gets in general to assault rifles. And if you use like the best assault rifle, which is a Cerberus Harrier, you're talking about just the most massive damage. Yeah, the Infiltrator is really good. I personally find the soldier more fun to play, but the Infiltrator is, I think, better, to be quite honest. Just because he is an Infiltrator, he can stay alive easier, you can get the stim packs all the way up with his build, Overload is amazing. Everything that I ever wanted on an Infiltrator is on the new Turian Infiltrator, I do have to admit, so that's just the thing. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are going to say, Jumpin, his melee is amazing, you should maybe invest into melee. No, I personally disagree with that. I'm not saying his melee is bad. I like to use it in one situation, and that's it, just one. And that is, if I take a Phantom shield down and it's still alive, I like to use the melee to knock the Phantoms down. That's about it, honestly, guys. I don't really fuck with the melee outside of just that one thing. The reason why is because I just personally feel that it's not, see, it can stagger or stun the crap out of all enemies in its radius. It does have a nice radius for staggering, but it doesn't damage the enemies. It does not damage the enemies at all in the radius. It only damages the one you hit. So what's nice about it is that it has crazy range and crazy auto aim. So against like something like a Phantom, like if a Phantom goes invisible, you can easily just do your heavy melee and it will track it for you, and then you'll knock it down or kill it. So that's the way I like to use the heavy melee. But I would not recommend investing into it thinking that the build will be better with the heavy melee, because honestly the best way to really use this guy, I feel, is with this rear carbine, because he is technically a Vanguard, and the best gun for a Vanguard is, well, the rear carbine. I love the idea of him. And I know why. If you guys remember in my one video, I said that there was going to be a Turian Vanguard. Reason why I said that was because a lot of people kept saying that there was going to be a Turian Vanguard. But really what it was just the fact that this guy was coming out. And I mean, when you see this guy like in a video or in a trailer, you just kind of assume this guy is a Turian Vanguard because he can freaking charge. It's crazy cool. Now right here, guys, I do want to say something. What I recommend, the way, if you remember, I was talking about the stim packs, and I said that I like to use them differently now, because you gotta remember, like, this gameplay is more or less well, it's not old. It was just day one of the DLC. Now that it's day 2, I have figured out a lot of new stuff, and one of the things I figured out was just the fact that, yeah, I think the stim packs are just way better for the damage bonus. Like, if you see a giant group of enemies, use a stim pack, because if you notice, I have 6 of them still. Like, I constantly will have them, just because I'm using the grenade capacity. So it's better, really, just to use them for the damage bonus, and of course to save your life, because they can do that as well. But I just think, use them like you would grenades. Just don't save them up like, oh, I might need 7 of them at one point, because you really never do. You might need 2 of them to get away from like a lot of danger, but that's about it. So use them every time you see a big group, you pop one and just start shooting and just start killing them all, because the damage is really good. And the 17% damage, that is general damage. That's just general. So your Havoc strike will get powerful. If you're using the Turian, the Infiltrator, your overload will be stronger. It's really good, guys. That's how I would recommend those stim packs. Alright. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about Cerberus now, since they have upgraded them. As you guys may know, they added in the new Dragoon. I know it's called the Dragoon before someone says, oh, Jumpin' can't pronounce Dragoon. It's Dragoon, I know. But we call it the Dragoon. The reason why is because if you look in this video, what my buddy Drew, as you may know, that's GK Demonte, what he's been doing lately is just playing with the Cerberus Adept. That's it. Just because they upgraded Singularity, and now the Cerberus Adept is actually pretty decent, where he used to always be like just a big disappointment. Like if you were going to use one of those ex-Cerberus guys, well, you just use the Vanguard, and he wasn't that good. But now that Singularity is godly, the ex-Cerberus Adept is actually really good, just with the combination of Singularity and Smash. So he's been playing that guy forever, and as you may know, Drew is all about Cerberus. All about the Cerberus colors. He's a big Cerberus fanboy. And now that we've been playing together, like every time we play Cerberus, we always think that one of the Dragoons is Drew. We're like, he'll sneak up on us and just start wrecking us, and we're like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh shit, that's an enemy. I just always think it's DK. So because of that, that's where the nickname Dragoon has come in. So for all my fans out there and all the people in the clan, I would really think it would be awesome if we can like somehow make this into like a new thing where everybody just calls the Dragoons Dragoons. I just think that would be hilarious, and it really is awesome. Alright guys, now the next thing I wanted to bring up is what else I'm going to be doing. Okay, now for what I decided from the video about the whole crazy glitch that happened to me, for any of you guys who don't know, my Volus Adept now has every point maxed out. Every single thing maxed out. But the downside to me is that the build is kind of messed up. I've been kind of thinking about that build, pretty much redoing the whole thing. But I will come out with 2 videos. Just like how I'm going to be coming out with 2 videos for the... And that was a bad missile right there. But just like I'm going to be coming out with 2 videos for the Turian Infiltrator, because I came out with the first collector gameplay, my first collector gameplay, and then I came out with, and now I'm going to come out with a build video. I'm going to do the same thing for that guy. That was pretty much what everyone said, is that I should use the glitch version for a game just to show, to show that he's a god and just make a lot of jokes about that. And then I should come out with a legitimate version. But the way that I feel, the way I feel about it is that the Volus engineer is freaking amazing. The engineer is really fucking good. I mean, I think he's better than the adept personally, but the adept is also pretty good if you use him right. The way I think that the adept needs to be played is he's just fucking tanky, guys. God, that little dude is a tank if you use him right. If you use the orbs, and just pretty much the orbs, like you run around and you use the orbs for just debuffing and don't really focus too much on singularity. Because his explosions are garbage. They really are. Singularity explosions have never been good. And singularity is just not that great of a power outside of, well, Cerberus. Like, against Cerberus, and that was a pro dodge right there. Cerberus, like, singularity wrecks, as you may know. But against, like, any other faction, it's really not that fantastic. So what I think I want to do with the Volus Adept, and I think my next video will be him. I'm not too sure, but I think it will be. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually use him as a tank. Because he's a freaking tank. If you run around and you use those, like, because you got to remember, power recharge does not matter too much for him, because those orbs, you can put them on and just leave them on and shoot them when you want to debuff something, and it's that simple, or stun something. And if you just run around and you just constantly use your shield boost power, you just never die. It's just that simple. So I just personally think that he is definitely a tank and an amazing support character. He really is. Like, both the Voluses are really good at just support for debuffing and for, like, helping your teammates with shield boosts. It's, like, really awesome. These Turians are definitely slayers. These Turians are just, I'm going to wreck enemies, and right here, I'm going to get wrecked. Now, that does happen sometimes. You just do not. If you charge into a Phantom, if you charge into a Phantom and she's swinging her sword, you're fucking dead. It's just that simple. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up in this video before someone leaves the comment, because I know you can do this. This map is really small. You got to keep that in mind. That glacier is small. And, well, what I wanted to say is that there's a couple cool things you could do with his Havoc Strike. The first thing you could do is that when you charge into something that you don't want to be close to, like this Atlas here, or a Banshee, you can actually charge in, and then if you, like, dodge backwards, you'll instantly dodge so far backwards that they don't even have a chance to grab you. They really don't. And if they do, it's just lag, because it is that insanely good. You can, like, dodge side. Basically, if all you have to do is that you do the Havoc Strike, and if you do the Havoc Strike, you can dodge in any direction you want out when you come out of it. Well, you can actually just, you just dodge immediately out of the way of any danger. So that's something you can do, guys. I know I didn't do it in this gameplay, but I didn't do it because the map's just really too small for that. But I know you can do that. So if you didn't know you can do that, that is a good tip. For any boss or anything you don't want to get close to with this guy, dodge out of the way. It's just that simple. The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick before this video ended was, yeah, if you don't know, Glacier has been changed. Like, you really cannot camp the bottom anymore, and you cannot camp that room. And that's really fucking funny. It's kind of a douchey thing they did. Not because, like, I don't mind them blocking off the room. I think that was a little bit too ridiculous for platinum farming. Like, it really was. But the way they did it was just kind of douchey. Like, they just put the boxes there, like, yeah, bitch. Like, we ain't gonna even work on them. We're not gonna, like, seal the door or do anything like that. We just gonna put some boxes there to say, fuck y'all. It's just that simple. But it is, I like the fact they did that. I really do. So that's just the thing. Alright, anyway, though, this, as you can tell, this game's wrapping up. This Turian soldier is freaking awesome. It's so much fun to play. Definitely one of my favorite. I love the Infiltrator. I love the soldier. I'm not a big fan of the Volus, but I do see the potential of them being great for team just team players, people who really like to go off of like being support and helping the team. That's just how he's meant to be played. But yeah, I'm loving the DLC, guys. I will be coming out with more videos, probably 2 for each of all these new 4 ones, or all 4 of the new ones that came out. Don't really know. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like. That would really help me out. Also, subscribe to me if you haven't already for all the new DLC content. As you could tell from this video, it's been pretty awesome, and it will just get better and better. So, just keep that in mind. But besides that, guys, have a nice day.